Hello, guys. Welcome back. Okay, I'm recording my voice. I'm sorry if you're hearing a lot of noise in the background. Apparently, all my neighbors decided all at once to have a outdoor lawn cutting, leaf blowing, weed whacking party. Nobody invited me, which is good because I'm still miserable. Okay, so last night I kept asking Odin. I said, "Who is this coming in?" Because stuff was going berserk last night too. And we had thought it was one worthy, which I won't mention the name of because I'm really not sure. I said, "You really have to give me a sign it's you." And I thought I may or may not have talked to this deity. And I said, "Well, could you give me a healing?" I said, "I know it must seem like an affront to ask for something right away, but I said, if you can give me a healing and make this disappear just like that, not only will I believe in your divinity and that you're here, because in the back of my head, I'm like, the atheist in me is like, you're talking to yourself. I said, I'll be more willing to work with you, right? And I'm not trying to be selfish. The healing's coming along, but I would like it to go a little faster, please. And I got up today, and poor Odin, based on what I saw yesterday, he was chortling and puffing himself up and preening and saying he had helped me with the shipping. Well, guess what? My stuff's not going to come until at least Friday, if not Monday. And I said, well, good thing I'm a girl, because I got a lot of pads to use for, put on stuff. And I said, this is annoying as hell, but I'm in no condition, even if I had $1 million, I'm in no condition to just hop in a car and go somewhere and pick stuff up. I feel miserable, like if you tangle with weeds. And I tried to do the rune reading this morning. We are getting somewhere with this. We are. And runes would not talk to me. Runes just were not going to talk to me. So I got out Big Mama. Big Mama's my tarot deck, and she's sassy. She gonna tell me, because she thinks I'm dumb. And yes, she's named after the tree. The fox and the hound. She is sassy, and Big Mama's telling me, she's like, you have to be the one to take control. You have to be the one to make the decisions around here. You, the boss lady. And, you have to be the final arbiter. Because last night, what was happening is I found out someone who claimed to take credit for all the attacks, and their wings were drooping, and their little tail wasn't even wagging. And I'm just staring at them, and I'm like, you have a lot of explaining to do, because that's my equipment, damn it. And you were getting in the way of me doing work on temples, and you were getting in the way, and that should have been my tail. And you were getting in the way of everything else. And just the head down, the wings drooping, the little tail on the floor. And I was mad, I'm like, this is no way to show love or devotion. And I looked at Odin, and suddenly Odin, because he does this all the time, and this is why his people pull out all their hair, he says, well, my dear, I know we all wanted to have you to ourselves, and we still would, but we have had a change of heart. They love you too. And I'm just looking at him, because I'm paranoid and twitchy at this point. I'm like, you'll let me open the house, and it'll be open for 3 days, and then, that, and then you'll be chasing everyone else out. And I'm talking to God last night too, because apparently everybody just all stormed back in at once. And I'm saying, I want to have everyone in the household together. And I've been smelling the kind of food my mom used to cook super strong yesterday. So it's like my mom's trying to come around and get the house in order. This is weird. I'm smelling one of the favorite dishes my mom used to make. She used to make French fries in the oven. She would cook burgers, and she would cook baked beans. I've been smelling it for the last couple of days, and I'm not near enough to a neighbor to be smelling this. And your mom's cooking, no matter how long it's been. And so I've been saying thanks, Mom, because I'm miserable. And she knew I didn't do well with stuff. I know my damn stories wander all over the place. Anyhow, I have to be the boss lady. I have to be the one. And I kept saying, we can try to work it out where it's mostly Norse and everyone else is in. Because once they got in, and the grieved demon was wailing about the injustices of the world. And I'm just looking at them all like, you touched my equipment? You touched my equipment. You got in the way of me building a temple. Oh, man. And I'm thinking, now I know why they used to bind demons and throw things at them. And I'm talking to God, and I'm thinking, well, if I'm thinking of these demons in a Judeo-Christian sense, I'm like, all your children are bad. And, and Asmodeus is just looking off to one side like he doesn't know what I'm talking about. I said, they're bad. They're bad children. And I get this kind of, not like God talks to me constantly or something, but I get this sense of amusement like, well, you are dealing with demons, but angels are just as bad. They're all bad and they all want to be in. And I said, you know what? Fine. I clearly don't get to make the decisions around here. But Big Mama was like, you have to be the boss lady. You have to make a decision. You have to stand by it. And it was a good reading. It was just like, that you work so hard to get a household together, and you've worked so hard to get a blended household, and you finally did give the Norse gods their way, but they changed your mind. So she would be like, good, let them change their mind and take advantage and have everyone back in, and she wouldn't have any pity. This deck definitely has her own personality. She's the only tarot deck I've ever bonded to. I have the Julian Sands one that it's really not a tarot, and it's really not that great. I got rid of I got rid of the rune ones because that one didn't like me. And I had another one and it was just ugly. It was another rune deck and it didn't like me. I had a dragon deck that absolutely hated me. Big Mama's the only one that's ever really liked me. And the runes, they hate me. I'm like, fine, you know what? Hate me. Be like that. So, but at least I have a tarot deck. And it's kind of good because with all the gods here I can say, well, tarot's where my talent is. I was even asking the old man. And the runes are like, no, fuck you, go away. I'm not talking to you. I'm not helping you. And, it's just you find out you have talents in some things and you have a decided lack of talent in others. And I'm just starting to regain my traction with tarot because I haven't done it in a while. So yeah, everybody's back in now because this household. And I did get a speech from the demons about you know, why didn't I come to their rescue the moment Beirut happened? And I said, I was trying to honor my promise to the Norse gods, and they understood that, and they understand how overpowering the Norse gods are. Believe me, I know this is only a lull in the chaos. And I said, I was upset last night, and I'm talking to all and sundry, and I said, I'm finally emotionally ready for an all Norse household. We were going forward with this. We were settling down into each other. I figured this was where my prosperity was going to come from. And you know what I mean? Not just mercenary, but everything was going to make sense now and things were going to move forward. And a demon decides he needs back in, and every demon decided they needed back in. And I just would kill them all. I love them, but I would kill them all. And, I kept arguing with Asmodeus last night. I said, you were the one that told me that if I truly wanted an all-Norse household, you would let me go with love and blessing and all this. I said, what happened to you? They're all in. I love them all. I do. It's just, I wish the gods would make up their damn minds because the Norse gods will let the blended household be for a couple days, and then they'll decide, wait a minute, what did we do? And then they'll want an all Norse household. I just wish there was a stick and you could every so often poke your gods with it. It wouldn't hurt them, but you know what I mean. I have often asked Loki if there's such a thing as a divine cattle prod or a baseball bat, and he looks at me and goes, no. And so and I asked Loki for advice. I did. And Loki goes, well, what do you want? I said, I don't fucking know at this point. I was happy being all Norse, and then everybody stormed the castle, and now everybody's back in, and everybody loves each other. I said, why can't you make up your fucking minds? Well, we are gods. But at least I'm in good company. In the Old Testament, God would have a cute little goddess come in and be in his temple with him. And he would like that a lot. And then he'd get mad at her and he'd kick her out. And then he'd have her come back in. Cute little goddess, pretty little girl. And then he'd kick her out. So, yeah. They all act like this. They want to share, they want the company, and then they have an argument. They don't want each other be around each other anymore. It's like every music video ever where they're throwing stuff and slamming out the door. But yeah, hopefully the noises die down for a while. And yeah, I did a double check, called my friend this morning, and they indeed found that little girl. She hid under her bed is what she did. She got scared. It was odd because there was a little girl on the news too. This girl had autism as well, the girl in town. And she got frightened because everybody was out making a lot of noise and that overwhelmed her. And she hid under her bed. And there had been a kid a couple years ago, same thing, during Halloween disappeared. And thankfully they found him under his bed. So, I was thankful. And I'm still proud of Loki and Odin because those would be the two that would, help a child, especially with autism. They're both very tender-hearted towards special needs people. And they would, have them hide somewhere safe. So she was safe. It caused a lot of excitement, but nobody's mad at her. She's autistic. She's to the point where she can't really communicate with the outside world. She's nonverbal. She might have some form of communication, but she's a little teeny tiny baby yet. That'll come in time, but yeah, a lot of excitement, but thankfully she's safe. And I get that the demons went back in, and Asmodeus has been pawing at me, and he's been pawing at me to go to the Oculus cell because we saw this one that was underwater adventure. I said, I don't know. I don't want anything where I'd actually have to hurt an animal. You know how I am. I will look at a hunting game and then I'll be like, no, the little animals. So I don't know. We'll see. He's fussy right now and he wants love and affection, but I'm trying to get them all to agree that if everybody's going to be here, we will eventually build out 12 builds, but they're going to have to be, except for the ones that have Loki's little paw prints on them, they're going to have to be not named. And that way, if they want to keep kicking each other out and taking over, that's fine. They now have a adults only club because I was building a spa for Freya, and Freya took one look at it and she goes, we want a club because I've always built her and Freya a club to run together. And I said, wouldn't you like a lovely spa? Don't try to argue with Freya. So it's his club, and they kick me out. They always do it. That's one thing frustrating building for Freya and Freya. You will be in the middle of doing work, and they're like out. They want to use their club or whatever, and I'm like, well, at least I guess I should be happy you appreciate my work. So hopefully I can get back in there and work on the club today and I want to get the terrace done, but it's up to them. But this is what it's like having a blended household. I did feel sympathy. The gentleman, Garrett McQueen, that comes on well, not every night, but when he does come on, he was talking about Beirut. And he was talking about, there's a song about a mother's plea, and he played that. And it's a lot to deal with in 2020. And we have to remember to be compassionate even when we're exasperated and we're overwhelmed and we don't know how we're going to do it. The Norse gods will probably again stage a coup sometime soon, but if everybody can be in for today, then that's the best I can hope for. So, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.